van Niekerk and Andy Raouna from A+Students. So Hanti van Niekerk is Head of Operations and Training and Evaluations for A+Students. Now, what is A+Students? A+Students is a Japanese method of education that teaches children as young as 2.5 years old to solve complex arithmetic problems playing maths, educational toys like the soroban and the A+ maths range of educational toys. So welcome, Hanti.
Thank you so much.
You know, Hanti, I tell you what, I'm so glad to see this because I'm very curious to find out what this is all about. I say this because, you know, I had a terrible experience with maths. I had a terrible experience with maths from start to finish. It was completely traumatizing for me. I cried my eyes out because my mother made me go to after-school maths lessons with teachers. She made me go to maths lessons every day, and I just couldn't understand maths, even the basics. I mean, I could maybe add from 1 to 20. I had to use my fingers. And even when I finished school, when I got to standard 7, I gave it up because I just couldn't do it. But you know, maths is so important in our lives. And thankfully, my husband, funny enough, he's also Japanese, helped me because he's very good at maths, and he helped me to understand maths in a simpler method because, you know, we need it in banking, we need it for our admin, we need it for work, we need it in so many areas of our lives. So I see you've got is it an abacus maths? I'm going to hand it over to you to teach us all about this soroban type of maths learning.
Okay, so this is called an abacus. But as we know, an abacus at school days, it's a counting frame. And the counting frame being used in the class is one of those big frames with 10 beads, 10 beads, 10 beads. So it basically teaches the kids to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, the abacus, or as it's called in Japanese, a soroban, is based on a system where you can calculate as you see a number. 9 is a 9, 11 is a 1 and a 1, 15 is a 1 and a 5, 22 is a 20 plus a 2. So the kids get to learn to use this abacus. Now, we start off basically, they need to learn to use the abacus in the right method. Adding with my thumb, that is 1 bead. Take away with my munchie finger, take away 1, take away 1. Add 2 together. Take away 2, add 3 together. Take away 3, add 4 together. Take away 4. So if I start with a basic calculation with a grade R or grade 1 student, add 4, take away 2, add 1, take away 3, add 3, take away 2, my answer is 1, exactly as I see it on the abacus.
Okay.
Going further, number 5. How many fingers do you have? 5 fingers in one hand.
Okay.
Make a fist. I've got 5 hiding. Number 5 is on top. Take away number 5. 6 is a 5 and a 1. So I will add 5 and 1 together to make a 6.
Okay.
5 and 2 will give you a 7. 5 and 3 will give you an 8. 5 and 4 will give you a 9. Now the kids are ready to start calculating more complex sums. Okay, so if I look on my abacus, I've got a little black dot that I've just moved in here. In this row, I've got a 5 and a 4, so that's 9.
Okay.
If I go to the next row, that's my tens. If I go to the third row, that's my hundreds. So I see a number 219 on this abacus. which represents 219. So when the kids start doing complex sums, they see this abacus and they start learning to visualize the same abacus. And this is where we are making the difference. The kids need to visualize. Mental calculation is a tool that lacks in all our schools. Children cannot calculate. Clean your abacus. Now I'm going to do it with my right brain, which is visualization, photographic memory. Clean my abacus. I do the same movements like I would have done on the abacus. Add 4, add 5, take away 2, add 3. I see a 1 and a 0 in front of my eyes, and that makes 10. And this is where we want to teach children to gain confidence in basic calculations, add, subtract, more complex calculations, multiplication and division, and then also square roots and cube roots going forward.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that kind of does square root in all the most complex things.
All the most complex things, yes.
I think I'm going to have to come for maths lessons, because I tell you what, I really struggled. I cannot begin to tell you how traumatizing it was for me, even after leaving school. And one of the career paths that I took was in the casino industry, for example. So, you know, it's all about maths, whether you're counting the cards, whether you're counting chips, whether you're all. And if it wasn't for my husband, and I must say, working in chips and just watching that, it does make it easier to kind of grasp and understand. So thank you so much for that demonstration. Anything else you want to mention?
You know, this tool, it's very tactile. The kids touch, they see, they get the answer. It's not the typical left brain where everything is analytical. It is as it is. You just need to know 7 and 8 is 15. They can physically understand what I'm doing to get to my answer, which is 15.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. It was a really pleasure talking with you.
And I guess that's why the Japanese are so much better at maths than the rest of us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Bye.
So now we're over to Andy Raouna, who is the CEO of A+Students. And hi there, Andy. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Raouna. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you. So before we chat about A+Students a bit further, about the franchise opportunities and what it has to offer, I see that you have over 25 years business experience with over 15 specifically in franchising, having served on the national operations as National Operations Manager for Multiserve, and then you were the Group Marketing and Franchise Development Manager for Hot Dog Cafe London Pie. And now you are the CEO of A+Students. You know, my question to you is, how did you start your franchising journey? Did you go and buy a franchise business, or did you work your way up, or did you do studying to get yourself involved in the franchise business? How did you get started? Because this is one element that a lot of people find very overwhelming.
I had a lot of experience with Multiserve. The company had gone through quite a lot of ups and downs, and it was bought over by a subsidiary of Cash Converters, Richard McIver and Peter Forshaw. And I joined them. They started franchising Multiserve, and I had the operational experience, and that's where I cut my teeth in franchising, and that's going back to about 2003, 2004. That's where I cut my teeth. I learned a lot. I've also done my advanced franchise management through UNISA. And yes, from there I moved on to a little bit of tutelage under Derek Smith, who sadly passed away not too long ago. And with Hot Dog Cafe and London Pie Company.
Okay, so when you say, you know, how you started your franchising journey or getting in, you would say you didn't just start off buying a franchise business. Like some people, they just go in and they just want to buy a franchise business. I suppose some can do that, but in essence, it's kind of good to maybe work your way up. What would you say, what would you recommend to others who are trying to get into that industry?
Franchising and what I've learned, I've got quite a bit of international experience as well, which I'll get into shortly. If you want to get into business, franchising is the way to go.
Okay.
Most definitely the way to go. I recently I've just come back from a multinational master franchise conference that we held in Austria. Thank goodness I got back before all the coronavirus nonsense started. I shouldn't actually call it nonsense because it is very serious.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot on the European franchising side. Last year I was in the UK and I met with the franchise council there. We're also opening up our first franchise in Australia. So I've looked at them as well. And I must say the South African franchising industry is on par with all the top countries and surpasses some of the lesser countries. In fact, I'll make a statement to say that our franchising industry is better and more robust than the German franchising industry. You know, things like our documentation that is required, our franchise agreement, our disclosure documents, etc. We've got a much more intensive and a much more protected industry. Obviously, we strive to try and get to where the United States is. Just as a matter of interest, at the Austrian Expo, I learned that last year alone, 400 new franchise businesses had started.
Okay, so it's a good business to get into.
Absolutely, and for somebody that wants to get into business, I think especially in South Africa, where they're not too sure of the markets, etc., they need a lot of help. I mean, South Africa is at the moment a little bit scary in terms of the economy. So you need to get as much as you can. And by that I mean, you don't want to make mistakes. Rather join a franchise, whether it's A+Students or whatever company it is. It really doesn't matter. You're getting that protection from somebody that has been there, has done the groundwork, has proven the concept. And yes, it is more expensive than opening up yourself, but you've got that protection. You're buying that know-how, which is what franchising is all about.
Okay. And what advice would you give someone? You know, should they do research? Should they go work within the franchise business first? Or because, you know, a lot of it's also about funding, and the funding, it always looks like big numbers. And a lot of people always want to go for the big ones that cost a lot of money. And then, like, you know, I mean, I must say I couldn't handle that type of risk. You know, I leave it to you. Yeah.
Look, a lot of people, as you say, do like, I'll call them the sexy brands. You look at the McDonald's and the KFCs. They look at those brands and they think, well, that's what I want. They don't look at the smaller brands, which in many instances are the more profitable brands.
Okay.
I mean, I'll talk specifically about A+Students now. We don't have a cost of sale. There's nothing that we sell to the customer. We're selling our knowledge to the customer. Our GP is 100%. We are a very, very profitable business. If you run it correctly, you will make money. It's a very simple business to operate. The biggest aspect that we look for when I look at appointing franchisees, what I look for is the passion. You ask the question, what should the franchisee look for, the numbers there, etc. What I look for is, I look for the passion. If the person has got passion and this is what he wants to do, I will train him the skills. I don't look for skills up there. I look for his passion. And that's what prospective franchisees should look at. What have they got a passion for? Whether it's flipping burgers or mathematics or cleaning houses, it doesn't matter. Whatever they've got the passion for, invariably that's 90% of the work done.
It is, because, you know, it's no point going and wanting to join a fast food business if you, you know, if you don't like working with customers and like dealing with people, you know what I mean? And it's quite a different experience to just going to buy a burger versus going to actually work within the business. So, you know, you might be suited to something else. I mean, I was chatting to someone earlier about care services, and, you know, I can tell you now, having a friend who's a nurse, there's no ways I could do nursing. You know, it's just not in my personality. It's not in my makeup. I wouldn't have a passion for it. I would upset the person who's ill, and they would get, and I would be frustrated with them. So it is kind of vital to also be to kind of figure out what it is that you like to do and enjoy to do.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, the passion. We've got a lot of our franchisees who are ex-teachers. Now, if you look at the education system in South Africa, the government education system, there's a lot of dissatisfaction, there's a lot of discontentment in the industry, where classes of 40, 50 children. The majority of time is taken up by admin and procedures and rules, etc. A lot of the teachers are disillusioned, and this is a perfect opportunity for teachers who have got the passion. I mean, teaching is a calling. It's not everybody that can become a teacher.
Yeah, agreed.
Those are perfect franchisees that have got the passion for something, but they're disillusioned in what they're doing, but they still like to carry on teaching. Now, yeah, they can work for themselves in their own area, their own business, a profitable business, and do proper teaching. I mean, remember the results that we are able to achieve are really scary. Yesterday, I was reading a testimonial from the South Africans that have moved to Canada, and they sent me photos of their little daughter who's first class in maths for the last 3 weeks in a row.
Wow.
Her grounding was with A+. Students. Our franchisee in Australia is an ex-South African franchisee. She's got 2 young kids, put them in school in Melbourne, and the principal called her in and said, what do you do that's different? Your children are so more far advanced in mathematics than our children of the same age. And once she showed her, she was floored by it and said, when can you start in our school?
Oh, wow.
So what we teach is on par, if not better, than a lot of the Western countries. And we all know the Eastern countries, their mathematics is far superior. And when I talk mathematics, I'm talking maths and mental arithmetic. And I just want to add on very quickly, I digress, I know, but just to add on what Hunter was saying earlier on, you need to hold maths in your hand before you can hold it in your head. And through the use of the abacus, you saw the big yellow abacus, children can see it. It's tactile learning, it's concrete learning. They can see it, they can feel it, they can touch it. That triggers off the memory synapses in the brain, and therefore children understand it and they remember it a lot better. So
I agree with you there. I agree with you there. Sorry to interrupt. I just, because even with my own experience, it was only when I left school and I started working with chips and casino, when I was working in the casinos, that physical action really helped me enormous a lot. And the teaching at school just didn't help me at all. And I don't know if the teachers, like you say, you've got to have a gift for teaching, because I just found the teachers at school they weren't meant to be teachers in my view. It was just my experience.
Yeah, no, look, they will have teachers, but they will have the passion to be a teacher. But put that person that's got the passion in an environment that they're not happy in that environment. The teaching is going to be substandard, and that's the problem. We take people who teachers in, and basically anybody that we believe has got the passion, and we train them in our methodology. And we've got a very strict course structure and lesson plan. I mean, the maximum number of children in our class is 7. So it is a comfortable working environment.
Yes.
We also make teaching experience for teachers and pupils very, very fun orientated, where they'll sit on the floor and they learn on the floor. And the results speak for themselves. Last year, our top student took part in the Mental Maths World Cup in Germany. He got a 2nd place. The year before, he also got a 2nd place. This year, we're hoping he is going to get a 3rd place and start taking in as well. Now, these are from students all over the world, and they do mental maths, mental arithmetic. So we had a team, I think, of 8 students that went over last year. So it's not that it's one student here and one student there. Our team of students do participate in international competitions, and the results speak for themselves. We can carry on forever in a day, and I can tell you about testimonials and things like that. But we chatted more about franchising. So
yes,
we can take it and use that passion and get them to be in control of their own destiny. Isn't that what we all aspire to? To be in control of your own destiny and still have the passion for teaching or whatever it is you do. You're automatically going to make a success. You can't not make a success.
Absolutely.
And that's what we do.
Yeah, I've been watching a young guy who's been teaching in the in the more colored areas. He's a teacher, passionate about teaching. And, they've discovered him because he's been teaching maths in a form of dancing, using dancing and maths together so that he can help people grasp the understanding in maths, because he just loves it so much. And I can see when he posts on Facebook his frustrations as a teacher with the system and how it works, because, he just has this love and passion. So this brings me now to the franchise opportunity. So you offer this franchise opportunity to people, ex-teachers or teachers who want to start their own businesses. So skills in teaching. Tell us a bit about the franchise opportunity. Who's it for? The training that you offer, and which areas you offer it in. What's available? Over to you.
Okay. The teachers obviously will make very good. They are in the education industry, so they'll fit in quite easy. It does not necessarily mean we will only take teachers. I mean, we've got a qualified advocate who's been a franchisee with us for 10 years. So we've got all sorts of people. As long as they've got a passion to educate and to work with children, that's what you need. We will teach you how to do it. Okay, our franchise opportunities. Our franchise fee is 195,000. For that, obviously you get your full training, you get your teacher's kit, which is quite expensive. We've got our own range of play maths products that you will use. That is tied in with the school's curriculum on an adjacent level that we see what the schools are doing, and then we don't want to divert too much from the school, so we use our play maths products as a parallel medium that we teach with, included with our abacus. With 195,000, when you open your store, remember that's just your franchise fee. When you open your store or your branch, we will do branded signage for you as we require, and that is at our cost. Okay? The value can be up to 65,000 Rand, depending on what is necessary. So you're talking illuminated signage, you're talking internal signage inside your branch. We pick up the costs for you out of that 195,000. As I say, it can go up to 65,000 depending on your requirements. You then need to open up your little branch. A branch around about 65, 75 square meters. You need 2 classrooms and a small reception area. Not necessarily in a mall or a high rental venue. You're looking more at the sort of strip malls and suburban malls, office blocks, places like that, where it's convenient for customers to come in, and it's also within the catchment area where there's a lot of children. Areas available right through the whole of South Africa. We've been going for 15 years now, and yeah, we're doing very well. We're nice and profitable, but we have still got so much work to do. Towns like Tzaneen, Palabora are open. The whole of KZN is open. Lots of opportunities in the Eastern Cape. But even here in Joburg, I've got nice opportunities in Randburg, the southern side of Johannesburg, northern suburbs. I mean, I'm not in Houghton. I mean, how can I not be in Houghton? We need to develop those areas. But we're also very, very choosy with the franchisees that come on board. We believe it's an investment and it's the future that they are investing with us. So we need to make sure that it's a nice fit between franchisee and ourselves.
Now, tell me, you mentioned that you had an advocate that's been working with you for 10 years or bought into the franchise. So they would hire teachers to come in and teach. Would they be responsible for that, or how does?
No, we firmly believe that you have to be in total control of your franchise.
Okay.
So you will teach as well. You will at all times still teach. We have found that if you're not teaching yourself, you tend to lose touch. And if you do happen to lose a teacher, well, then your business goes flat. So the ideal would be each franchise, when we demarcate the areas, we look at you should grow to 300 children within your franchise.
Okay.
You will hire additional teachers as you grow the business. And the ideal, what we try and get our franchisees to aspire to, is to have 300 students. And within those 300 students, you'll have 2 teachers working for you, each teaching about 120 children each. And then you have about 50, 60 children that you'll teach yourself. So you're not really breaking your back, but you're keeping current with teaching.
Okay. And tell me, what training do you offer people who say buy franchise? What's part of that pack?
Okay, part of the pack is full ongoing training. Okay, initially you've got a 2-week training course. It's 2 weeks including the weekend. Obviously, you don't work the weekends. But yeah, the full 2-week training, that is your initial course that you do. Thereafter, you do have to come through at least once a year for additional training. And so there is always training. Every year you will come through for training. Every year we also take a team through to Japan, and we do advanced training in Japan in a boot camp. That is quite exciting because we have teachers and children that go together in one big group. We do about 3-4 international trips a year. Just as a matter of interest, we're doing a friendship trip this year to Serbia. We're partaking in their competition, and then they're going to reciprocate by coming to us. We are part of a big global organization called PALMA. They look at the standards and set the exams. There are 25 different countries within the PALMA group, and every year there's international competitions with them. We, in fact, hosted it in 2017 at the Hilton in Santon. And then obviously we do Japan. Obviously we go to the World Cup competitions in Germany. So yeah, our students are exposed to international travel and are taken with international peers, and they can judge their standards, and we can see where the benchmark is on an international basis. So it's not something that's just South African. What our children learn, put them, well, the benchmark is the international standard that we aspire to.
Okay, so if somebody wants to apply to join your franchise or want to buy into one of your franchises, what must they include in their application? What is the application process? What does that entail?
Well, they can visit our website. It's A+Students.co.za. There is the franchising tab. They can contact me direct by phoning our office. They will fill in an application form, a very simple application form. The process would be, once we've gone through the application, we look at the interview process. From the interview process, we are full members of FASA, obviously, and we are subscribed to the Consumer Protection Act requirements. I mean, we wouldn't be where we are if we did not do that. Excuse me. So once we've done the interview process, they get supplied with a draft franchise agreement and a disclosure document. They would read that. Obviously, they've got their 14 days. They can take it to their attorneys, to their accountants, whatever. During that period, a full business plan is also made up with the franchisee. Once he's happy, he then gets called in for a panel interview that he can interview the founder and the chair lady of the business, Marlene Mouton. We've got Huntley, we've got myself, and all senior managers at the head office are involved in that interview, where the prospective franchisee can interview us as a team as well.
Okay.
So we must find that fit. Only once that panel interview has taken place and has approved the franchisee or the prospect, and they are happy with all the questions they have asked us, do we go ahead and sign the franchise agreement, and from there we start making plans to open up the branch and schedule them for training.
That sounds good. So just to recap, it's not just for advocates only. For those of you who think it's just, someone, I get it's just for people who are passionate, people who have got a heart for children, people who have got mainly a passion, and it doesn't matter what industry or sector you come from, you can just have a heart for wanting to train, for wanting to teach others, for wanting to empower children to be in control of and have confidence within their maths abilities and life overall.
You've mentioned one word there which I wanted to bring up. What you were talking about, your maths at school, the biggest problem that you lacked there was confidence.
Yes.
And this is what we find in South Africa. Children get to matric and they don't know the multiplication tables.
Yeah.
In fact, do yourself a favor. Next time you go to a restaurant, look at the tables around you. When the bills are presented to the client, have a look how many people will pick up the cell phone and work out 10% and add it on their cell phone. Now, if you cannot add up 10% mentally as an adult, and you cannot add mentally, there's a problem. You didn't do your maths at school. You lack that confidence, and that's why people fall out of maths.
Yeah.
They don't have that confidence. They don't know their multiplication tables. And that's what we
Oh, just hold on a moment there. We lost you for a moment.
in the
Andy, we lost you there for a moment. I'm not sure what happened. I'm just going to add in there. Not realize that we've lost him. Josh, of technology. So I'm just going to add in there that I know from my own personal experience that where it comes to confidence in maths, when I left school, I had no confidence. And in my days, you know, they made such a big hoo-ha about maths and science. If you didn't do maths and you didn't do science, they considered you as like stupid sort of thing. And so that did also, I will agree with Andy then. I'm so glad he raised that section about confidence, because, you know, there's nothing worse than hitting the big world out there. Now you got to go and find a job, you got to go and make life work and make life happen, and that confidence is so vital. And I must say, if I'd had a better teaching of maths, in all honesty, I think I would have done or felt a lot more confident within myself. So I'm so glad you raised that point. Sorry, we lost you there for a moment, Andy. I don't know if you're back with us. We had a bit of an internet glitch there.
Yes, no, I'm back with you. I can hear everything.
Oh, good. So yeah, I just kind of took over because I kind of understood what you were saying about the maths and the confidence. So I'm just going to say to all parents out there, if you have, and I know my mother really tried with me, she took me to maths lessons, she spent a lot of money, a lot of hours trying to help me with my maths, and it really, I mean, I just used to burst into tears every single time. So I'm just going to suggest to you, if you parents out there, if you have children who are not understanding or grasping maths, look at A+ math students, give them a shot, see if it will work for you and for your children. I know that Japanese children seem to be very good at maths. My husband comes from a Japanese background. He's Japanese. He's brilliant at maths. So have a look at it. Give your children that advantage in maths if you find your child is struggling with maths. And even if they're not, you know, it's a way of improving your maths and improving your confidence overall. So Andy, thank you so much for joining us. Any last words you want to add if you're with us?
It's not only children in school. We start young kids from 2.5 years old. From
That's
30
true.
months, we go to nursery schools and we teach in nursery schools. Yeah, so we start them from a very young age. But yes, any questions, I'll take your calls personally, not a problem. And just a word of thanks to FASA for what they're doing in the franchising industry. As I said, our franchise is very strong when compared to the rest of the world. And I've looked at various countries. And, you know, after 15, 16 years in the franchising industry, I think, you know, it's not just something that I'm saying glibly just to blow your trumpet. I think the franchising industry is strong in South Africa. People mustn't be scared of franchising. Whether it's A+Students or any other franchise, we do operate a very controlled industry, and it is strong. The customers are protected, and it also helps with our clients in that they've got some type of protection in terms of quality and stability and things like that. So, yeah, thanks to FASA for allowing me to present my brand. And, yeah, thanks to you, Raouna. Take care, and, yeah, all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. And that is so important to have that surety of protection, as Andy says. Buy into a franchise where you've got that cover, because you know you never know what goes wrong at any point in time in your life. So yes, thank you, Andy. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to everyone for joining. If you've got any questions, we will be I have posted the link to the FASA listing if you want to get in touch with Andy, or you can look them up on A+Students online on Google. So thank you so much, and that's it for this week. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.